Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video I'm really excited to do. It is going to be all about the new Natasha Denona Mini Love palette. I'm going to be showing 3 looks. I am going to be comparing it to the Natasha Denona Love palette in the midi size, and also giving my thoughts on this palette, if I think it was worth it, if it's good to my collection. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, I did want to talk a little bit about the eyeshadow palette, and I'll jump into some swatches also. So I purchased this from the Natasha Denona website. It was $25 like her mini palettes are. If you are new to my channel, hello, welcome. My name is Samantha and I really enjoy the Natasha Denona eyeshadow formula. It took me a while to dive into Natasha Denona, but I am really glad that I have. And her mini palettes continue to be some of my favorites. I like smaller palettes and I like palettes with a little bit more of like a cohesive color story going on to it. And so her mini palettes have been such a hit for me. Also, I am a huge fan of the Love palette. I did a video recently ranking all of the palettes that I tried throughout the year 2020, and the Love is real high up there. This really became one of my favorite palettes. Again, I really enjoy the formula. I love pinks and purples. I love purples especially on the eyes. This color story to me is just so much fun. I can either do something neutral and simple, or I can go really outside the box, or I can just do something simple like putting the red all over my lid. Like, it's just, I enjoy this palette so much. I actually did a video in the summer, I think it was, where I created my own mini Love palette. It was super fun to do a video like that. And so when I saw the actual mini Love coming out, I got so excited. So I bought it kind of right when it came to the Natasha Denona website. There was a little bit of confusion. I think it like accidentally got released and some people got it, but I'm pretty sure I was sleeping when that happened. So when it became available on the website again, I did snap it up. A little bit about this palette. Again, it retailed for $25. It has the 5 shades. It says a range of 5 new ultra pigmented pink and purple tone shadows, perfect for Valentine's Day, with Natasha Denona's iconic formula in creamy matte, metallic, and duochrome finishes to create your desired look. The shades are U, which is a mauve rose gold, R, an antique lilac, My, an aubergine or deep eggplant, True, which is an icy pastel pink, and Love is a warm medium pink. So the shades spell out, you are my true love. How cute. So that is a little bit about the eyeshadow palette. Let's go ahead and jump into the 3 looks so you can see how it performed on my eyes. Starting with look number 1, I'm going to do a halo eye here. So starting with Love, I'm putting that on the outer part of my eye and then also the inner part of my eye. And then I'm going to use the shade True, and I'm going to pop that right in the center. And then for my lower lash line, I'm mixing the second and last shades. I'm just going to add that to my lower lash line, and then again adding True to the inner corner and brow bone. And then I'm going to do a little mascara, and that is look 1. Coming into look number 2, taking the center shade in My, and I'm putting that all over my eyelid. I was a little intimidated when I realized how dark it was, but I'm just taking my time, putting it all over the eyelid, and then kind of flicking the brush at the end to blend it out. Next, taking the first shade U, and I'm going to place that right on top. I was really curious to see how these layered, and I was a little bit obsessed. Like, look how shiny and glittery and beautiful this shade is. I got a little bit of fallout, but not too much. Then I'm just going to take a blending brush, clean, and blend out the edges. Once again, using True as the inner corner and brow bone highlight, and then taking the second shade and placing that on the lower lash line, then adding my mascara, and there are the final looks for look 1 and look 2. Into look number 3, I'm going to take the last shade on a flat shader. This is a Sigma E56, and I'm just going to run that all over my eyelid. I'm going to take this mini booster Sonia brush that I got from my Lucky Bag unboxing. If you haven't seen it, I will link it in the cards. And I'm going to pick up the lighter mauve matte shade. I'm going to put this right into the crease and then blend back and forth. Then I'm just going to take my finger with the first shade, which is U, and then I'm going to just tap that kind of right on the center of my lid. That is such a fun shade. And then I'm just going to take the mini booster again. I'm not going to add any extra product to it. I was kind of thinking about adding a few other shades to the lid, but honestly, that first shade is like, I don't know, it's kind of a scene stealer for me, if you will. I kind of don't want to do anything else that would take away from it because I just think it's so pretty. So I'm just going to make sure that we're nice and blended here. Let's brush is nice and soft. I feel so fancy. My lower lash line, I'm going to take a pencil brush from Sigma, the E30. I'm going to mix together the two mattes. And then grabbing the lightest shimmer in True with another pencil brush. And that is what I'm going to use as my inner corner and also my brow bone highlight. I'm going to finish off the other eye and add in some mascara. Okay, so I added some purple liner to my waterline, also my Ofra mascara, and then I finished off my lips with my new Natasha products, the Dana Lip Liner and Noah lipstick. So that is the third look using the mini Love palette. So I hope that you enjoyed seeing those looks. Now I wanted to compare it to the Love palette, because one of my thoughts when I first saw this, I was like, oh, I think maybe there's some shades from the Love palette, so maybe if you already have the Love, you wouldn't need to purchase the mini, unless you're like me and you just really like the mini palettes. Then I mean, you can do whatever you want, but I was like, are you just going to be purchasing like a smaller version of the Love? Now these are new shades in the mini palette, and really I couldn't even find a lot of close shades to the Love. You can still see I have the swatches on my arm here, but I'll be doing some close-ups too. For the first shade in the mini palette, which is You, I swatched that compared to Giving from the midi. At first I thought these were going to be super similar, but the midi palette doesn't have as much of a base as the one in the mini. That one definitely has a bit of a darker toned base to it, so I felt like those were really different. In the midi palette, I swatched Trust versus My from the mini palette. Those were going to be the same shade too, and those are completely different. Trust in the midi palette is a lot more purple, whereas the one in the mini palette is very, very dark. I mean, like kind of bordering, almost getting to like your brown black type of shade with purple to it. So those shades were really different. And then finally from the midi palette, I swatched Transparent, which is one of my favorite shades. It has a big dip in it in that palette. And I swatched that in comparison to True from the mini. And you can see that these are very different also. The one in the mini palette has a lot more shine to it, a lot more shimmer to it. And the one in the midi palette, it's just such a cool shade, but it has a little bit more pink to it. But just once again, they are really different shades. So, I mean, obviously color story is going to be similar here with your pinks and your purples, but these, I mean, even now holding it up next to each other, I was like, oh no, like these are not the same palette at all. So if that was one of your worries, I do think that these are going to be different enough. And I mean, as of right now, I couldn't say which one I enjoy more, because I just got this one and I've had this one for a year. So like right now, my heart still belongs to the midi, but this is $65 compared to the $25. Jumping into my thoughts on the mini palette, I was actually a little bit surprised because this palette is different than I thought it was going to be. The first thing that surprised me was the two mattes in the middle. They're kind of deceiving, like especially the R shade, which is kind of funny. That one to me, I kind of thought it was going to be like the mauve shade in the Pat McGrath Divine Rose palette that I love so much. Just like this really light, pretty mauve, which is one of my favorite shades. It actually has a lot of oomph. This palette had more depth to it than I was thinking. The first time that I applied this shade, I honestly thought I had put my brush in the darker one, and I kind of had this moment of like, wait, what did I just do? This has a lot more pigment and oomph than I was expecting. And then same, I thought this one was going to be, you know, just a matte purple, but you can see from the swatch here, like it's a dark shade. It is very dark, so you can really take this look, which I'm happy about that. I'm glad to see that it's not just super light toned or like super pastel or anything like that. I'm actually pretty impressed with the palette. I also like that we have this duochrome here. I think that's a really cool shade. I like the addition of just a light shimmer. That was in my mini Love palette that I created because I think that it's so beautiful. I think I was using Transparent for the mini palette for my example. And then the last pink shade, this to me, it's actually funny because I feel like a lot of my looks are definitely pulling more pink. I think I'm a little bit intimidated by this darkest matte right here. It's sometimes when you get into those really dark purples, they're a little bit harder to work with. So I kind of find myself leaning towards some of the other shades. So I feel like a lot of my looks have gone really pink, and I actually like a lot of purples. I think maybe if this shade here would have leaned a little bit more on the purple side or again on the mauve side, I think this palette, like it really would have been like an immediate like this might be one of my favorite palettes. Oh my gosh. But if you like really pinky tones, I mean, I think that you'll like this one too. So yeah, I was almost a little bit surprised when I actually started playing with the shades and getting them on my eyes, but so far I've done 3 looks and I like all of them. I feel like it's easy to work with. The formula is great on this one. I really have no complaints at this moment. So I'm definitely going to keep using it and seeing how I like it and seeing how it compares to the Love, if it kind of like knocks the Love off. Because again, I really do like smaller palettes. So I'm watching a blizzard right now. We're supposed to be getting 6 to 10 inches of snow and it looks we're like halfway there right now. So if I keep staring out the window, natural disaster up there. Thank you for listening to the weather portion of this video from your favorite Iowa blogger. All right, I'm really happy. I feel like this is gonna make a great addition to my collection. I was so hoping a mini Love palette was gonna come out for Valentine's Day, since this one came out, the midi palette came out for Valentine's last year. I was hoping, I was crossing my fingers, and who knows, maybe Natasha got a little inspired by my mini Love creation last year. Kidding. I'm just really hoping 2021 is the year I get on Natasha Denona's PR list. I mean, we're such close friends. It's like shocking to me that she hasn't put me on the list yet. That's another joke. To know, did you pick up the mini Love palette or anything else from the collection? I did just purchase a lip liner and lipstick from Natasha. That's what I have on today. So I didn't purchase that from the mini Love Story collection. And then the blush I know was a cream blush and a highlight. I just didn't feel like I needed that. So I really just wanted to get the eyeshadow palette. But also, if you have made it this far, there is a giveaway in this video. Oh, did you make it this far? I hope you did. I'm really excited to do this giveaway because I did purchase an extra mini Love palette from the Natasha website, but also I have an extra midi Love palette here that is also going to be going into my giveaway. Again, referencing my lucky bag unboxing, I actually got this in my lucky bag, which I thought was so cool, and I said it in the video. I was like, I already ordered the midi Love and I ordered an extra one. I'm gonna do a giveaway with it, so I'm also going to be giving away the midi Love palette. So how this giveaway is going to work is that one winner is going to receive both of these palettes. I initially was thinking I was going to split it into 2, but that's when I was thinking that the palettes were going to be really similar to each other, and they're really not. I feel like these are 2 very different palettes that I'm going to be giving away, so I thought I could make it for one winner is going to receive both of them. So I'm really excited to be able to give these away. So if you want to win your own mini Love palette and your own midi Love palette from Natasha Denona, it's super easy to enter into my giveaways. Just make sure that you are a subscriber here, like this video, leave a comment, and leave the hashtag SamSquad. So hashtag SamSquad, leave that in your comments, and then I draw a winner from the comments that has hashtag SamSquad in there. So if you still want to comment, if you want to leave some thoughts on the palette, but you don't want to enter into the giveaway, just don't include that hashtag. And again, just make sure that you are a subscriber here. I will be doing a bonus entry over on my Instagram, so if you would want to do the bonus entry over there, I am March Beauty Word. And if you are coming from Instagram or doing the bonus entry on Instagram, leave your Instagram name in your comment, and that way it also gives me a backup way to contact you in case you don't get alerted that I have commented to your comment that you're the winner. That makes sense. All of those details will be in my description box along with the end date. My giveaways are open international. Ask that you're 16 or over or have parents' permission to enter, so they know why you're giving me your address on the internet. So other than that, that is it for today's video. Had to sneak a little giveaway in here. I'm really excited for it, but definitely let me know your thoughts on the palette, my looks. Did you guys pick this one up for yourselves? I hope that you will enter the giveaway if you haven't. Other than that though, if you enjoyed this one, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I hope you also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll see you in my next video.